Know what you want, focus on that desire, reach out to the positive, as well as within to your power, and forge a thing of pure beauty. Dinelan Tiriandara, an Illumine soul. The Illumine soul is a living conduit of positive energy. He is able to forge a blade of semi-solid psychic energy, and infuse it with the essence of the positive energy plane to deal lethal strikes to undead opponents. As an Illumine soul practices this unique talent, he learns to fill up his being with the power of the positive energy plane, becoming a light in the darkness, and turning undead away from his radiance. Desirous of something more than raw psychic energy, an Illumine soul learns to reach behind the sky and form a mental link with the positive energy plane. He entwines this energy with that of his own psionic mastery to create a formidable weapon of brilliance that extinguishes all shadows.
While soul knives focus on working with pure psychic energy, Illumine souls infuse their mind blade, and mind and body as well, with positive energy. While not necessarily interested in or beholden to divine agencies, Illumine souls focus a portion of their studies on religious matters to better understand the source of power drawn upon by clerics and paladins. An Illumine soul focuses mainly on his ability to channel positive energy through his mind blade as well as his body, forging a permanent link with the positive energy plane that charges their psychic strike with positive energy. This link allows them to deal damage to undead, both intelligent and mindless, using Psychic Strike. Psychic Strike functions like the soul knife ability of the same name, projecting a ray of positive energy from the mind blade that deals damage on a successful ranged touch attack to any undead creature within 60 feet that it strikes. You can project such a ray a number of times per day. When expending psionic focus, the Illumine soul gains protection against the powers of undeath for 1 minute. While enjoying this protection, the Illumine soul is immune to all magical and psionic death effects, energy drain, and any negative energy effects.
The Mind Blade eventually becomes permanently enhanced with the Undead Bane weapon ability. This weapon enhancement remains constant, despite any other changes or modifications made to the Mind Blade, for instance, using the Mind Blade ability of the Soul Knife. Eventually, the Illumine Soul's connection with the positive energy plane provides him with a healing ability that can be used on himself once per day. This healing kicks in automatically without any action from the Illumine Soul, on the first occasion in a 24-hour span, when the Illumine Soul is close to death. When this occurs, a flood of positive energy discharges through the conduit you maintain with the positive energy plane and instantly heals damage. This healing is timely enough to keep the Illumine Soul alive if the amount of damage taken was otherwise enough to kill, assuming that the healing received leaves the Illumine Soul above his death level. The Illumine Soul can eventually expend her psionic focus to radiate positive energy that deals damage to all undead within 30 feet of herself, dealing damage to all undead within range. Forging a link with the positive energy plane is only the first step of your mission. Once that link is complete, your goal is to actively seek out and destroy undead every chance you get.
Past deeds and honors are of little consideration when it comes to combating these horrible creatures. Just as you don't rest on your past achievements in bringing undead to their final rest, you aren't concerned with an undead creature's accomplishments while it was still breathing. Neither are you worried about an undead's current activities or philosophical bent. When it comes to undead, there can be no middle ground, they must all be destroyed. Becoming an Illumine Soul is a personal decision. There might exist small groups here and there of Illumine Souls who feel their goals are best served by organizing their activities instead of working individually, but they are the exception rather than the rule. Where such groups exist, their primary goal is typically eradicating undead, not recruiting and training new members. In combat, use your Mind Blade to attack opponents, charging it up with a Psychic Strike once they are close to melee range. As with a Soul Knife, you should attack with a Psychic Strike each round if possible.
The Illumine Soul makes a great ally for a fighter, rogue, or lurk. With his enhanced maneuverability, he can make a point to set up flanking positions for attack. When undead are encountered at a distance not easily bridged, the Illumine soul can attack using her positive energy ray. If she comes upon undead in a concentrated area, the Illumine soul can first use her positive energy flare to soften up the rotting opposition before she brings her mind blade to bear. It isn't uncommon for the Illumine soul to join a group of adventurers on a quest. There is safety in numbers, and undead can be crafty in combat. The companions who suit the Illumine soul best are typically like-minded individuals. Clerics, paladins, and ardents all make good adventuring companions. Beyond that, any good aligned character can be helpful in combating undead, particularly intelligent ones. Illumine souls frequently find themselves welcome in the churches of various religions that are devoted to the destruction of undead, which is most every good aligned religion. It isn't uncommon for you to expect free room and board from these groups, and possibly even a small discount on healing services, or the purchase of holy water.
Next time that Dinellum what's-his-name comes snooping around my bone field, you'll discover a few changes I've implemented, to his peril. Dagneth Valanium. Disgruntled Necromancer. Any campaign in which undead are an important element is one that would benefit from the inclusion of an Illumine soul. An Illumine soul meshes well in a group that contains strongly aligned good characters. On the other hand, Ardents, Clerics, and Paladins have their own ideas about where their powers originate that can be at odds with an Illumine soul's understanding. Except for a burning curiosity about the order of the planes, particularly the positive energy plane, Illumine souls are not particularly religious folk. They tend to take an explanatory, atheistic view of how clerics are granted their powers. They do know that it isn't always healthy to be particularly vocal regarding these beliefs, and they have enough respect for the religiously inclined to keep the commentary to a minimum.
Despite discretion, however, an Illumine soul's beliefs on a philosophical level can still ignite occasional arguments on the nature of divinity, life, and the role of the positive energy plane. Illumine souls are usually ambivalent about the idea of joining an organization. They assert that deities are merely powerful beings who have better conduits to the positive energy plane than an Illumine soul does, which doesn't win them too many votes for entry into religious establishments. However, several organizations exist whose charter is concerned only with cleansing undead from the world. Illumine souls are welcome in such places. They are particularly welcome in the organization known as the Hall of the Illumine, which vaguely resembles a secular knighthood. Members are recruited from among like-minded soul knives and trained in the hall. The training performed by the hall is governed by a headmaster and several knights. Once his training is complete, an Illumine soul is free to leave, and in fact, is encouraged to do so, and begin destroying undead.